Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty brand new Xbox news out ongoing over here. We have some cool stuff in regards to some brand new features that are actually now coming out. We also have some brand new hardware that's also finally being released and being worked on, as you guys may have had a chance to hear. And also some pretty big drama when it comes to one of the really big Xbox Game Pass exclusives that has actually now been almost on a perpetual hold. So we have a lot of stuff going on with this one, a little bit of Assassin's Creed news too as well. So a lot of little random various things to go and we'll talk about. I hope you guys are all enjoying your Sundays too as well. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the PS5 giveaway. You got that Twitter and Twitch room down below. Target Amazon links down below. And of course, give me your thoughts and comments all throughout this video. I would love to go and hear it. So let's go dive on into it. So first and foremost, let's go talk about the brand new kind of positive news before we get to the kind of the juicy drama. So really quickly, we actually did go and see this up a few days ago where Microsoft did go and start testing now its brand new Xbox Home UI. It's actually now going to be finally being updated. That will be arriving in 2023. So this is something I think that basically Microsoft, Xbox, and all of them needed, mainly because this has been a really kind of bluntly bad thing to look at. Like, there's just been a lot of big issues, a lot of it doesn't look nice. It doesn't really look in the 2020s, you know, and it does seem like they're finally having some brand new updates coming out with it, which is nice to see. So basically, Microsoft is starting to test new changes to the Xbox Home UI that will eventually arrive for everyone in 2023. The changes will include tweaks to the layout and design to make it easier to find Xbox games and apps or navigate to areas like the settings interface. Microsoft will conduct a variety of Xbox Home experiments over the coming months before launching its own brand new Xbox UI in 2023. My little quick note on this too is if you guys have ever seen through the Microsoft Store, it's awful. I hate it. Like, it's so clunky, it doesn't load well, and I do kind of feel like Microsoft and Xbox have been kind of dropping the ball a decent bit. They state saying, "We know that the Xbox homepage is where our gamers spend the most time, and it's a space that's very personal. I don't think that's the time I spend most of my time at, mainly because I'm more so, you know, playing games, but that's just me," says Ivy Krislov, Senior Product Manager, Lead of Xbox Experiences. "We also know we could always be listening and learning how to do better here while keeping your experience fast and familiar. With that, we're kicking off a multi-month series of experiments to learn how to create a new personalized home screen experience and address some of the top trends and fan requests," which I think is nice to see. They're just trying to listen to the community, make things better. A random subsection of Xbox insiders in the alpha skip ahead ring will also get access to some of the Xbox Home experiments as of this week. The first round of preview updates include a new jump back in row at the top of the Xbox Home that includes the usually recently played games and apps. And then you'll also notice, and we'll show you guys the screenshots, that there's no longer a bigger tile for the most recently used app or game. Interface is a lot more like the Microsoft Xbox TV app. So basically, they're trying their best to make it a little bit more cleaner and nicer with some of the changes, and just trying to make things just a little bit better, a little bit cooler, and all of that, so you guys can kind of see all this stuff with the pictures. The Xbox TV app also has a search function up top and quick access to settings, and Microsoft is bringing both of it to its main Xbox Home UI. There's even a pinned tile for access to Microsoft stores alongside the usual My Games and Apps tile too as well. So it does kind of seem like they're doing some pretty big changes and updating some stuff too as well, and they're going to try to fine-tune the perfect UI. Xbox users have been calling on Microsoft to redesign its Xbox Home interface for months, with suggestions to focus on showing more than the dynamic wallpapers, obviously removing ads, and offer up a more customizable for the Xbox Home screen. The redesign doesn't address all these quite yet, but there is many months they can keep on adjusting and changing stuff if they would like. Now, for the author's note, they said they'd want to personally be able to fully customize the Xbox Home UI, pin apps and games freely up top, which I would agree on too, mainly because what if you're more of a Netflix boy or something like that, YouTube, etc., Spotify, and you prefer that over other apps or other games, which I could respect. And as well, you can kind of do that also, as they mentioned, with phones and iPhones, etc., etc. So why not be able to go do that with every console? Which I kind of agree. I think these are big changes needed. As well, we also do finally have a big requested controller feature, which is nice to go and see. So basically, Xbox has its own design lab, which is basically like where they can make and customize your own Xbox controller, order it, pay for it, and go from there. But a lot of people wanted to have the customizable version of the Xbox Elite controller. And while it seemed like this inclusion might never come about, Microsoft has finally now announced this coming out too as well. So starting later this holiday season, the Xbox Design Lab will begin the process of allowing for customizable Elite controllers. This means that fans will now be able to recreate their own versions of the Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 with color schemes that are also different between just the default black and white models that Microsoft already has. Very nice to go and see. So as of right now, people don't know the full-on price points with it, but they did go and tease the start of this program with a new video. So based on what's been shown, only the base color of the Elite controller will be customizable, while the rubberized grips, thumbsticks, and bumpers will remain black. So I just kind of feel like this is probably more so just based on you can maybe make this like red, blue, purple, green, etc., and go from there. So I also think this is actually kind of cool too to go and see it, and I do think this is also driving more competition with the PlayStation 2 as well. So interesting to see on that one. Now, on top of this, too, for more intriguing news, Stalker. As you guys know, Stalker has actually been now perpetually delayed, which is kind of big news because there's also drama in with the two as well. So Stalker 2 devs insist the game has not been delayed, though, again, despite Xbox pre-order refunds. So basically, Microsoft has been ordering and issuing refunds for the game with no exact release date, the studio says, and this is more on, like, with the issues, too, of, like, Europe and basically not being able to go pay and, like, tariffs and just all that stuff tied on in. So basically, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, developer GSC Game World has now refuted claims, but is also still ongoing because refunds have still been issuing out over here, that basically Xbox started giving out money for all the pre-orders. So earlier this week, those who pre-ordered Stalker 2 actually got messages informing them that their orders have been canceled. So their pre-orders that they already paid for / signed up for is already gone. This is all due to the fact that Stalker 2's release date has been pushed back to an unconfirmed date in the future. At the same time, the pre-order option on the Xbox Store was also disabled. So this is basically, as you guys know, this like in terms of tariffs, some countries just cannot receive or do international trade, receive money, send money, etc., and I think that's a big issue with it, because we don't necessarily know when a lot of these conflicts are going to be resolved, and I'm sure Xbox is in the same boat where they don't want to go and like void out international law. Like they don't want to have companies or have like the Microsoft Xbox Corporation get shut down, fined, or also shut down in various countries by allowing this or being investigated for like, country money laundering and stuff like that. Because although I'm sure most normal folks like us can agree, like, hey, cool, it's just a video game, it's not a big deal, just drop it. When it comes to multiple millions of dollars / also proper deals, because it is on Game Pass, so Xbox giving certain companies a lot of money, or as well, when it comes to just international trade law, like you don't want multiple governments kind of breathing down your neck, especially when Xbox is still under a lot of scrutiny with their Activision deal. So as well, like I said, they also did have the option in the Xbox Store removed. So basically on this too as well, the GSC Game World initially put Stalker 2's development on hold, picking up again once the studio was later relocated to Prague. The original slated the release in April this year, it was pushed to the first half of 2023, and as of right now, because there is no solid release date, that is why Xbox is offering refunds. They stating, we had to postpone the game to 2023 with no exact release date for now, a GSC spokesperson told PC Gamer. We made the announcement at E3, a Microsoft extended show, alongside the dev diary and intro cutscene. Microsoft refunds pre-orders for the games with no exact release date. When we announce the exact release date later on, the pre-orders will once again thankfully be fixed and go live again for Xbox. Pre-orders on PC, Steam, EGS, and GOG are not affected by this at all. So basically what this just times on into is that they just had their release date change, which does suck. Like that's not a fun thing to deal with as a dev. You lose pre-orders, that means you're probably going to lose sales, although it does kind of put them back in the market, and when it does go and start up the pre-sales / announcement date again, they actually may have a chance to drum up even more promotion and hype for the game itself. As well, I'm sure a lot of folks want to go and support up people that were suffered. It also does kind of give the game a little bit more time to work out bugs, work out issues, and flesh out the game more. And as well, future Assassin's Creed games, as we mentioned on previous videos, also have been confirmed to not be 150 more hours, which is very nice to see. So future games in the Assassin's Creed series will vary in length, and thankfully a lot of these will not be following this 2017 Assassin's Creed Origins RPG gameplay, which I like. I'd rather have a nice, proper, quick, like linear single-player game that's very concise and good, rather than like 200 hours of bloatware too as well. And that's why we also made a video earlier on today discussing the issues with Mirage and gambling and so on top of that, so keep that in mind. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below, Target links down below, and all that good stuff too as well. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place. I appreciate you guys all so much for being here.